Thank you so much for coming to our mid-season showcase today. The musicians have been working very hard for a few months now, and we are very excited to perform for you today. We are going to open the concert very traditionally with an overture. So an overture is a piece of music that's played at the beginning of an opera, a musical, or a ballet, and it's sort of like a musical teaser with all the greatest hits. So we are going to play an arrangement of one of the most famous overtures from Mozart's opera, The Magic Flute. Mozart is very playful in this overture, especially in his use of dynamics and where he changes from soft to loud. It's sort of like unpredictable. And it almost kind of feels like he is winking at the audience. So this is the Magic Flute Overture. We are going to jump forward hundreds of years. So speaking of greatest hits, we are going to go to Star Wars. So John Williams has written so many greatest hits, and Star Wars is just really one of the classics. It's a really tricky melody for younger for all musicians because of its range. So our arrangement will feature our trumpet section, who have done heroic work on this piece. And this is Star Wars.
Good afternoon, everyone. These musicians, congratulations, you are sounding fabulous, and we give them a quick break while you get to chat with me. If we've not yet had the pleasure of being introduced, I'm Stephanie Rickard, the executive director here, and it is my honor to make sure that things keep running so that we can continue to do all of this. And I want to share with you today something that at a recent event for the San Mateo Office County of Arts and Culture that was shared, because music is more than just a thing we do in this space. Music is joy, music is connection, music is creativity, music is empowerment, music is resistance, music is expression, and that is what all of our students do here, and that's what we want to inspire with our organization. So thank you again for being here, thank you for your support of these students, thank you for your support of the arts, because what we do here is so special. Thank you all, and please enjoy the rest of the show.
So we are going to continue our program with music written for Midsummer Night's Dream by Felix Mendelssohn. Fun fact, Mendelssohn wrote music for the same play twice, and this is his first one. And Mendelssohn didn't live a very long life, so he was quite young when he wrote this, I think like 17 or something like that. This is a very compact, but I think meaty arrangement. And so it features sort of this beautiful nocturne at the beginning, very beautiful, like a lullaby. And then all of a sudden it turns into this triumphant finale. So please enjoy music from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Before we play our last piece, I would like to invite you and the musicians on stage to join me in thanking the coaches and the staff and administration with PYO. They're so helpful. They make the magic happen. So if we can thank them, that would be great. Thank you for your support for every time that you're driving to a lesson or you're running to rehearsal or you're like figuring out how to put together a music stand. There's a lot of that. And also I want to say thank you to the musicians. This is an incredible group. They've really grown this year. They're making some very beautiful music and I'm proud of them. So we're going to end with a contemporary piece, an original piece written for orchestra called The Tempest, appropriately so. You're going to hear sort of driving torrents of rhythms and patterns, but then you're also going to hear, maybe it's sort of like the eye of the storm, but this long melody across the middle or the top of it. Really features very nicely our viola, cello, and horn section. So this is The Tempest. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We have a great program in store for you and one of 4 concerts this weekend. Our concert opens with an overture to an opera buffa, which is sort of like a comic or a silly opera, Lo Speziale by Haydn. The music from Lo Speziale, like a lot of Haydn's stuff, is playful, it's light, it's nimble, and it's fast. We are a large orchestra, so it's pretty different than what the instrumentation or size of the orchestra would have been in Haydn's day. So one of the big tricks of this piece is learning how to emulate Haydn's light, playful style with modern-day instrumentation and numbers. And the musicians have done a tremendous job. We're excited to share Lo Speziale with you today. So the music from Bizet's opera Carmen is recognizable. Everyone knows it. It's just so, so good. And we are going to take advantage of our two fantastic harpists to perform the Intermezzo from Carmen. The Intermezzo challenges the musicians to play these long, connected, beautiful, expressive melodic lines with lots of control over tone and pitch and, most importantly, expression. And it is gorgeous. I dare you not to hum this as you drive home after the concert. And speaking of singing, right after Carmen, we're going to move right into a medley from The Sound of Music. So like all medleys, the trick that the musicians have is to change style between all the songs. They have to change the style, the key signature, the tempo, all the things, okay? And they have to do it very quickly all together in the same way. The pieces featured are Do, Re, Mi, Climb Every Mountain, My Favorite Things. Do I have all of them? Oh, The Hills Are Alive. Is that? Yeah, that one. You know, have to have it. Okay, so this is the Intermezzo from Carmen, followed by The Sound of Music. Please welcome to the stage our Executive Director, Stephanie Rickard.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And students, fabulous job as always. They sound phenomenal. Well done. So I want to thank all of you for being here. What we do here on this stage is far beyond just music. Music is resilience. Music is empowerment. Music is community. Music is leadership. Music is resistance. And music is joy and connection. And when I just share that, getting to see the way that these students have shifted just from the start of the year, the student who was nervous to come in, nobody here was nervous though. Nobody here was nervous. But if somebody was nervous and they were like, am I gonna meet any friends? To now, when they're running in, getting to meet each other, is something incredibly special. So thank you all for being a part of this space, and please enjoy the rest of the show.
We are going to continue with our program. We're going to move away from musicals and operas. Cumberland Cross is an original work for orchestra that evokes the Appalachian Mountain area, which is the location of the beautiful Cumberland Falls. It has a simple and very beautiful opening melody that gives away to sort of this full-on fiddle tune that everyone in the orchestra gets to play, passed around the orchestra, and then it resumes the original opening gorgeous melody, a little like a fun part at the end, and it sends you on your way. So relatively condensed piece of music with a lot of music in it. So this is Cumberland Cross. We are going to finish our program with a piece called Huapango del Oso, which is an original piece for orchestra written in the style of a Mexican huapango. So this style of music comes from the Veracruz or Hidalgo region of Mexico, usually features dancing, and has this really cool rhythmic concept where that pits 2 against 3. There's a lot of instruments and ideas that are being featured. Our percussion section super active, playing marimba, güiro, lots of different stuff. Our bass players basically drive the bus the whole time, so they're very active. There's a violin solo. Our brass section is featured. I mean, it's great. It's really, really fun. It's got this awesome groove. It'll be a great way to send you off to the rest of your weekend. So this is Huapango del Oso. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.